So again, so we will now focus on the human rights education. So again, guys, ang human rights education. So actually dati, hindi ito kasali sa CLJ. So under the new curriculum, so nandito na siya ngayon. So pag sinabi kasi natin human rights, of course, that is the rights or that is the moral principles and the rights of certain individual kasi simply because they are considered or they are human. So that's why class, we have the what we call human rights. So sino bang nagbibigay class or sino ang nagbibigay ng tinatawag na human rights natin? Okay, again, sino ang nagbigay ng tinatawag natin ng human rights natin class? Okay, sino ba? Any idea? So again, di ba sinabi ko kanina, those are the principles and norms or the center stand or certain standards. Okay, kaya tinawag natin ng human rights simply because we are human. Bill of Rights, okay, no. Okay, sino again ang nagbigay ng tinatawag natin class na rights or na tinatawag natin na human rights? Bakit tinawag siya na human rights? Sino ang nagbigay nun? United Nation? Hindi rin. Okay? So this is very basic question na so dapat alam nyo. Constitution? Hindi rin. Kasi tandaan nyo class, iba yung tinatawag natin na human rights sa constitutional rights, sa special rights. Kapag tinanong ko, it is the constitutional rights, of course, ang nagbigay noon is the Constitution. So ang human rights, from the word itself, human rights, sino nagbigay nito? Okay, sino nagbigay? Okay, so walang nagbigay, of course, di ba? Kaya tinawag siya na human rights kasi nga, of course, walang nagbigay. That is your rights as a human. Ibig sabihin, nung pinanganak ka sa mundong ibabaw, you are already that rights, di ba? Kasi nga, simply because it is inherent. Tama yan, Dea? That is inherent or inherent yan kasi you are a human being. Nakuha ba? So, nakuha niyo bakit bakit na iba may constitution? Merong iba na ano. So again, pag sinabi natin human rights, of course, that is understood as alienable or it is fundamental rights of the person because it is or we are inherently entitled to that rights simply because we are human being. Nakuha ba ninyo? Okay, so ayan. Naiintindihan niyo na class. O, di ba? So very important pala talaga palagi na dapat na master yung mismo subject ninyo Okay, sa subject pa lang mismo ninyo, dapat alam niyo na mismo. Okay, so again, pag sinabi natin human rights, ibig sabihin, those are the fundamental rights of a person which is inherent to them or we are simply inherent or entitled to it simply because we are human being. Okay, so that's why we have what we call the human rights. So regardless of your age or regardless of your origin or saan ka naman galing or your location, your language use, your ethnicity and other status in life, so you are qualified class. Or of course, pag pinanganak ka sa mundong ibabaw class, ibig sabihin nun, you are applicable, you are inherently entitled to these rights na meron kayo. Okay, that's why we have the human rights na subject natin. Okay? Kaya di ba, mabuti talaga tinanong ko muna kung alam nyo or ano yung pagkakala niyo pag sinabi natin human rights. So di ba, may nagkamali. Kasi when it comes sa board exam class, dapat alam nyo mismo yung subject ninyo mismo. Ang definition ng subject matter. Okay, para before you can go through. O, diba? So, yung iba kasi, hindi na discuss or hindi mo lang nila nababasa yung, or hindi nila na-master yung title mismo ng subject nila. That's why, there is a difficulty mismo, di ba? Sa content. So, dapat, sa subject pa lang, alam mo na kung ano yung kanyang definition or ano yung possible question to that. Okay? So, yan yung tinatawag natin ng human rights education. Nakuha niyo ba? So, naintindihan niyo na what is human rights? Naintindihan na ba? Walang question pag sinabi ng human rights? Okay. So, naintindihan na? So, nandiyan pa ba kayo? So, again, ulitin natin, of
Okay,
course,
sir.
ang human rights, of course, hindi lang yan sa Pilipinas. regional, of course, national and international. That's why we have the international human rights. Okay, so kapag hindi kayang ibigay ng state or estado yung rights na dapat sa atin or as a human being, first, meron na rin tayong international guidelines on human rights. Okay, so of course, mag-start tayo palagi sa first question. Pakibasa nga sino to, si Realme C25. Pakita yung pangalan, si Realme C25. Okay na ba? Ano pangalan ni Realme? Pakibasa muna ng question. Hindi available. Okay, how about tapos na Sir Kilon. Sir Kilon.
Yes, sir.
Okay, pakibasa. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is issued by Superior Court for the re-examination of an action of a lower court. A. Writ of kalikasan. B. Writ of mandamus. C. Writ of prohibition. D. Writ of certiorari.
So, ayan. It is issued by Superior Court for the re-examination of an action of a lower court. So again, it is issued by Superior Court for the re-examination of an action of a lower court. Letter A, writ of kalikasan. Okay, again, letter A, writ of kalikasan. Letter B, writ of mandamus. Letter C, writ of prohibition. And letter D, writ of certiorari. Okay, what is your answer, class, on the comment section? Okay, so what is your answer? Letter D. Okay, so ayan, are you familiar with this already? No? Mas maganda yung familiar kayo dito. So ang sagot natin dyan, of course, that is letter writ of certiorari or the writ of certiorari. So again, ini-issue yan ng Superior Court. Halimbawa, yung Supreme Court at mag-issue niyan ang writ of certiorari or certiorari for the re-examination. Ibig sabihin, uulitin na i-examine yung action or yung decided case ng lower court. Yan yung tinatawag natin, class, na writ of certiorari. Again, ulitin natin. Pag sinabi natin writ of certiorari or certiorari, it is issued by Superior Court for the re-examination of an action decided by the lower court. Ang tawag natin dyan, writ of certiorari. When you encountered or na-encounter yung class yung tinatawag natin na writ, ang ibig sabihin ng writ, class, it is an order. Okay? So again, ulitin natin. Pag sinabi natin writ, class, it is an order. Ibig sabihin, whether you like it or not, kailangan mo sundin yan. Kasi it is an order coming from a superior court or mas nakakataas na sangay ng korte. So that's why ang writ of certiorari is issued by Superior Court for the re-examination. Ibig sabihin, ulitin mo ngayon ang action of a lower court. Ang tawag natin dyan is the writ of certiorari. Nakuha ba? Naintindihan niyo? Naintindihan, class? Naintindihan ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige. Next tayo. Next question. Okay, so pakibasa, please read, sir, mag-ilat tayo ng magbabasa. Sir Robin, Sir Robin, nandyan ba? Okay, I see, sige. Go ahead.
Kasi inisip.
Okay.
It compels the lower court to perform or rule on some issue. A. Writ of kalikasan. B. Writ of mandamus. C. Writ of prohibition. Or D. Writ of certiorari.
Thank you. So again, it compels the lower court to perform or to rule on some issue. So what is your answer, class? So ang focus siya lang dyan is yung keyword natin na compels. So kapag makuha nyo or nakuha nyo na yung term, okay, ano ibig sabihin ng compels, it's easy to answer. Or it's easy to navigate with your answer. Okay, so what is your answer? It compels the lower court to perform or to rule on some issue. What is that? Okay, so very good. Okay, so remedy. So pag sinabi nating compels class, of course, that is the writ of mandamus, that is to mandate. Okay, that is to mandate or to compel the lower court to perform or to rule some issue. Ibig sabihin, inuutusan ngayon or minamandate ngayon class ng higher court. Okay, ang lower court to perform o ibig sabihin, i-resolve nyo to or mag-decide kayo dito sa issue na to. So, ang tawag natin dyan is the writ of mandamus. Okay, again, it compels the lower court to perform or to rule on some issue, that is the writ of mandamus. Okay, nakuha ba? So, explain natin dito yung one by one class na tinatawag natin na writ. So, please make sure na naka-off yung mga ano ninyo class. Patingin ka ng, pakiting na ng mga audio ninyo kasi nakaka-disturb sa iba. Okay, sa akin rin. Ano dito, papan. I-explain na natin. So again, ulitin natin. So isa-isahin natin yung mga different reads or kung sinabi natin read class, ibig sabihin it is an order. So again, unang-una, we have the read of habeas corpus. So pag sinabi natin read of habeas corpus class, literally, ibig sabihin dyan, you shall have the body or you produce the body. Again, ulitin natin. Pag na-encounter nyo ang read of habeas corpus, ibig sabihin yan, you shall have the body or you produce the body. So ibig sabihin, ang order na yan ay inilabas class that is to protect or that is your protection against unlawful and indefinite imprisonment. Yung basta-basta na lang ikulong ka na wala namang court order or wala namang legal means or wala namang cause, di ba, legally. So that is the writ of habeas corpus. It is a protection against unlawful and indefinite imprisonment. Ibig sabihin, dead or alive, kapag itinago mo yung katawan niya, okay, so, or alam mo kung sinong nagtago niyan, so of course, yan yung ilalabas ng korte class laban sa kanya. So, ibig sabihin, dead or alive, you shall have the body or you produce the body. Ibig sabihin, ilabas mo yun. So again, ang writ of habeas corpus, ulitin natin, that is, it is your protection against unlawful and indefinite imprisonment. Literally, ibig sabihin niya, you shall have the body or you produce the body. Okay? So, nakuha ba? Naintindihan?
Yes, sir.
Class? Okay, next tayo. Okay, pag sinabi naman nating writ of amparo, okay, so pag sinabi nating writ of amparo class, yung amparo na term, ibig sabihin yan, it is literally protection. Again, pag sinabi nating amparo, it literally means it is a protection. Kapag yung right mo, okay, the right to life, liberty, and security is violated or threatened, so ang writ of amparo ngayon ang pwedeng i-request sa higher court or sa Korte Suprema or sa higher courts natin, class. When your right to life, liberty, and security is in danger or threatened, ibig sabihin, you need an extra protection. Ibig sabihin, kailangan mo ng protection, class. So halimbawa, feeling mo may sinusundan kayo or feeling mo may umaaligid-aligid sa bahay ninyo, so hindi na siya safe. Ibig sabihin, your security and liberty or your life is in danger or violated or threatened, nakatanggap kayo ng threatened or ng death threat. Of course, class, ang ilalabas ngayon ng korte, class, is the writ of amparo. That's why minsan, di ba, may nakabantay na mga police sa labas or mga authorities sa labas ng kapag nag-request or kapag nagbigay or kapag naglabas ang korte ng writ of amparo kasi nga kailangan mo ng protection. Kasi basically, your life or liberty is threatened or violated or it is in danger. Ang tawag natin dyan is the writ of amparo. It is your protection. Nakuha ba? Nakuha niyo, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
next. Okay. Ang writ of habeas data naman, of course, that is the right of privacy. So, of course, kapag your privacy is, hindi na naman sa hindi naman sa mga cellphone or hindi naman sa mga social media mo, kahit sa bahay ninyo or wala kang privacy or medyo nahaharas ka na when it comes to your privacy ng family mo. So, yan na rin yung ilalabas niya. That is your right. Okay, that is your constitutional right or the right of privacy in your own homes, kung saan ka man in your own abode. Okay, that is the writ of habeas data or the right of privacy. Ang writ of kalikasan naman, class, that is, it is an order that provides protection against or to one's constitutional right to a healthy environment, di ba? Sinabi natin under the Constitution that it is your right to have live in accordance or to live sa environment which is in accord or balance yung nature natin. Then, kailangan rin natin pangalagaan ang ating kalikasan for the next generation to come. So, kapag halimbawa, nakita mo ngayon, yung nagmamining, di ba? Nagmamining, tapos bigla or wala naman silang permit to operate. Then, kailangan mo yan i-report sa ngayon sa korte class. Kasi nga, ang ilalabas ng korte is the rate of kalikasan. So, para patigilin or itigil yung mga ginagawa nila, may magkakaroon ng illegal logging, di ba? So, yan yung i-request mo, yan yung ilalabas ng korte, yung rate of kalikasan. It will provide protection of one's constitutional right to a healthy environment. Kasi hindi lang naman ikaw ang magbe-benefit yan, of course, yung future generations to come. Okay, that is rate of kalikasan. Again, ang rate of kalikasan, it provides protections of one's constitutional right to a healthy and balanced environment. Kapag nakita mo na nakakasira yung activities or yung gawain ng ibang tao, so tapos yung life mo or yung constitutional right mo is violated against yung healthy environment kasi karapatan na natin kasi na mapangalagaan yung ating environment. Okay, not just you, for the next generation. So ang ilalabas ngayon ng Korte class is the rate of kalikasan. It will provide protection of one's constitutional right to a balanced and healthy environment. Nakuha ba? Naintindihan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Next. Meron tayong tinatawag na writ of mandamus. Okay, ang writ of mandamus class, it is a remedy that compel, ibig sabihin, inuutusan ngayon ng lower court inuutusan ngayon ng superior court or ng higher court ang lower court class to perform or to rule on some issue. Ibig sabihin, kailangan nilang i-resolve itong ganitong issue. Okay, dapat mo i-resolve to. Ano ba, uutusan ngayon ni Supreme Court, si CA or si RTC na kailangan mo i-perform or i-rule itong issue na to, dapat mo i-resolve. So wala silang magagawa, dapat gawin nila yon kasi it is a writ of mandamus. Or same as true class, halimbawa may inuutos ngayon ang Supreme Court or yung korte sa isang agency na itigil ninyo ang ginagawa ninyo or itigil nyo yung mga ganito ganyan. So that is a writ of mandamus. It compels the lower court, it compels an agency to perform or to rule on some issue, that is the writ of mandamus. Okay, nakuha ba? Naintindihan ninyo? So palagi yung tandaan yan is to compel or kasi nga it is a remedy for the to perform or to rule on some issue. Ibig sabihin, inuutusan siya ngayon na gawin yung ganito. Okay, so yung ganyang issue, i-resolve ang conflict, so wala siyang magagawa. Okay, nakuha ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next tayo. Okay, yung tinatawag rin natin na writ of prohibition class, ang tandaan nyo dyan na keywords palagi is to forbid. Ibig sabihin, ini-issue yan ng higher court class to a lower court to prevent from exceeding its jurisdiction or usurping. So, di ba, halimbawa, kapag, di ba, palagi kong in-example dyan, is kapag yung victim or yung accused, posibleng connected siya ngayon sa tinatawag na judge. So meaning, ilalabas yan ng korte, yung writ of prohibition doon sa judge na hindi niya muna hawakan ngayon ang kaso. Okay, ibig sabihin, ilalayo niya muna ang sarili niya doon sa issue na yon para of course ma-prevent ang exceeding its jurisdiction or yung usurpation of power. Okay, baka maggamit, no? Baka may paboran. Pero of course, nanumpa sila, di ba, na walang papaboran. Okay, ibig sabihin, there is a fairness naman pagdating sa natin. Pero yun yung tinatawag natin na writ of prohibition. To forbid, it is issued by the higher court to lower court to prevent from exceeding its jurisdiction. Ibig sabihin, hindi natin na usurpation of authority. Yes, that's good. That's correct. Usurpation of authority, baka gamitin nila yung power nila class and kanilang influence or of course yung kanilang power and authority, no, to favor yung mas ticket sa kanila Okay? Yan yung tinatawag natin na rate of prohibition. Again, ang rate of prohibition, halimbawa, yung victim or yung accused connected sa judge. So ngayon, ang ilalabas ng korte, okay, maglalabas ang Korte Suprema or court ng writ of prohibition class. Ibig sabihin, pagsasabihan niya or in-order niya ngayon ng judge na wag muna hawakan ang kaso na yan, ibibigay muna sa ibang judge. Si judge muna or yung isang judge muna ang magsisettle ng kaso na yan para maiwasan natin ang usurpation of power or usurpation of authority. Okay, nakuha ninyo? So yan yung tinatawag natin na writ of prohibition. Or halimbawa, yung korte, wala siyang jurisdiction to handle that case. So ibig sabihin, wala siyang karapatan or wala siyang power and authority to hear, try and decide cases or to decide that particular case. So ibig sabihin, pinagbabawalan siya ngayon ng tinatawag natin ng korte kasi nga wala siyang jurisdiction over that case. So that's why ang tawag natin doon ng order class na ilalabas is the writ of prohibition to forbid yung tinatawag natin na particular person or individual from exceeding its jurisdiction or from to prevent the usurpation of authority and power. That it is the writ of prohibition. Nakuha ba? Nakuha ninyo class? Nasundan ba? Nasundan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next, of course, we have the writ of certiorari. Kaya yung sagot natin kanina, ang writ of certiorari naman or certiorari, it is issued by a superior court for the re-examination of an action of a lower court. Ibig sabihin, pinamandate niya ngayon or pinagsasabihan or kinukumpel niya ngayon yung tinatawag natin na lower court for the re-examination. Ibig sabihin, ulitin ninyo. Baka may nagkamali or baka on your part, ito yung pagkakamali niyo. That is the writ of certiorari or certiorari is issued by superior court for the re-examination of an action of a lower court. Okay? So, yan. Ang ating mga writs. So, different writs class, no? Ang mostly na lumalabas palagi sa board exam, kasi diba sa human rights class, there are only 5 possible questions to be asked during the board examination. So, ang posibleng maglalabas dito class is the writ of habeas corpus. O, diba? So, palagi, yes, hindi pa naglalabas itong tatlo. Yes, baka hopefully this time, yung writ of habeas corpus palagi lumalabas. Writ of amparo, lumalabas rin yan. Writ of kalikasan. So, baka next time kasi ilalabas nila writ of mandamus, writ of prohibition or the writ of certiorari. Okay, so hopefully lalabas nila, no? Pero 5 possible questions na naman ang lalabas class sa tinatawag natin na human rights education kung susundin talaga nila ang TOS. Okay, kasi ang pinakamadami naman talaga book 1 to book 2 evidence. Okay, so hopefully class masusunod nila. Okay, parang ito talaga sila isa dito. Hopefully, no, lalabas ang mandamus, prohibition, or certiorari. Kasi sa habeas corpus, ang paro kalikasan, yun ang paborito nila. So, i-master nyo lang class. So, wala na tayong problema dyan in case na ilabas mo nila o hindi. Okay, kung hindi man, of course, importante, alam nyo yan. Paggamit nyo papasok kayo sa service. Yung iba dito mag-academy, yung iba dito is mag-law school. So, magamit na gamit nyo yan. Okay, so, yan. Okay, so pakibasa nga si Victor, si Sir Victor. Okay. Ano ba? Available ba si Sir Victor to read? Wala? Okay. How about si, sige, Sir Robin na lang. Pakibasa muna. Ay, walang audio si ano.
Hello?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Illustration, Philippines and Japan is at war. Due to limited member of the armed forces, Lino was among those ordered by the state to serve in the military because he is a graduate in ROTC. Lino denied the order for reason that he is afraid to die. He also reasoned compelling him to join the military is against his constitutional right to involuntary servitude. Is Lino?
Okay, sige, pasahin ko ulit class. So, Philippines and Japan is at war. Due to the limited member of the armed forces, Lino was among those ordered by the state to serve in the military because he's a graduate of ROTC, in ROTC rather. Lino denied the order for the reason that he's afraid to die. He also reasoned out that compelling him to join the military is against his constitutional right to involuntary servitude. Is Lino correct? Okay. What do you think, class? Pag sinabi nating involuntary servitude kasi, ibig sabihin, hindi ka pwedeng pilitin to join the military kung ayaw mo. Okay, so tama ba si Lino? Okay, so ayan. Okay, of course, no, di ba? So hindi yan siya kasali, class. Okay, so let's find out dito sa sagot natin. Okay, so of course, class, Lino is incorrect. So the state is at war or under the war with another country and is in need of additional soldiers. His order to join the military did not violate his constitutional right to involuntary servitude. Calling a Filipino citizen to defend the country in case of a war is an exemption to the involuntary servitude. So it is authorized pursuant to Section 4, Article 2 of the Constitution, class. Again, class, ulitin natin. Although wala tayong karapatan or walang karapatan ang state or ang bansa natin to napilitin tayo to join the military. Of course, karapatan kasi natin yan na hindi mag-join sa military, tama? But kapag ang country natin is at war, ibig sabihin meron tayong kinakaharap na war ang country natin and is in need of additional soldier class, whether you like it or not, or whether you are graduate of ROTC or not, kailangan mo pa rin ipagtanggol ang bansa natin. Kahit isa ka na lang yung natira, di ba? Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na, ay, hindi ako graduate ng ROTC or ay, hindi ko alam gumamit ng firearm. Okay, so kapag ganun class, hindi yan pwede. Okay, so pagdating or kapag there is a war existing or merong war na kalaban ng ating bansa or existing between the two countries, the Philippines and other country, so yung rights mo to involuntary servitude, mawawala yon. Whether you are a private, whether you are kahit ano ka man. So kailangan mo ipagtanggol ang bansa natin. Kasi again, di ba, anong baka ang mamatay ng dahil sa iyo. So whether you like it or not, when the state is under the war with another country and is in need of additional soldiers, kahit hindi ka graduate ng ROTC, kahit ako you are civilian, so you need to defend the country, class. Kasi again, it is authorized under pursuant to Section 4, Article 2 of the Constitution. Okay? So in case of war, mawawala yung tinatawag na right to involuntary servitude. You cannot tawag nito, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na hindi mo ipagtanggol. Kasi of course, dapat in case of war or in times of war, you need to, okay, kahit hindi mo gusto. Kasi nga, di ba, tanong pa ka ang pumatay ng dahil sa iyo, di ba, dito sa paano natin, ano yun, sa ano natin ba, panatang makabayan ba, nung elementary and high school tayo, di ba? Okay, so in times of war, no exemption. Okay, nakuha ba ninyo? Again, in times of war, class, yung right to involuntary servitude, mawawala yan. Kasi nga, the state is at war, kailangan niya ng additional soldiers. Graduate ka man ng ROTC o hindi, kailangan mo ipaglaban ang bansa natin. Okay? Nakuha ba? Nakuha niyo? Okay, so ayan, kaya mag-ready na kayo in case, okay, di ba, medyo there is a tension ngayon. So, anytime daw, di ba, magkakaroon ng ano. Okay, so sana hindi naman. So in case kapag ganun, wala kayong choice kung di paglaban ng bansa natin. So baka mananalo tayo o baka mas maraming aswang sa atin eh. Okay. Ma-activate lahat ng aswang. Posible mananalo pero titingnan natin. Pero sana hindi naman mangyari, no? So kapag ganun, o wala kayong magagawa class, kailangan natin i-defend ang sarili nating bansa. Okay? Kasi nga, kapag halimbawa, hindi mo i-defend yung bansa mo during the existence of war, mani ka sa of course, there is there is a problem kapag or makakasuhan ka ng treason, of course, di ba? Yung loyalty mo is, your loyalty is in another country or yung sa kalaban ng bansa natin. So medyo magkaka-problema. Okay, nakuha ba? Ready na ba kayo?
Yes.
Okay. Ready na kayo? Sino yung nagsabing yes? Ready na daw. Of course, dapat maging ready. Diba? Okay, sige, dito tayo. Okay, so ang rights against involuntary servitude class, that is under Section 18 ng Constitution natin, ibig sabihin, no involuntary servitude in any form shall exist except as punishment for a crime whereof the party shall be convicted. So ibig sabihin, class, you are not allowed or you are not forced to join the military if you're not, di mo gusto, di ba? So again, that is the rights against involuntary servitude. Dapat voluntary ang pag-join mo sa military. Okay, so of course, except kapag yung punishment to the crime is what we call, kailangan mo i-serve ang tinatawag natin na, ano yun natin? Yung tinatawag natin, guys, na kasi nga pwede ka bigyan ng ng punishment. Pero sa ibang bansa, kung napapansin niyo, voluntary talaga sa kanila, di ba? Kahit artista ka man o hindi. Okay, so pwede kang kailangan mo talaga mag-join sa military or kailangan mo talaga mag-serve sa military. Unlike sa Pilipinas, di ba? Magrereklamo kahit ROTC lang, di ba? So, kaya medyo rin eh. Okay, so paano natin i-defend ang country natin anytime? Diba? So, kaya dapat mga criminology, yun talaga sila yung frontliner na pagdating in case lang naman, di ba? So, kapag kulang na sila na agad-agad or tayo na yun. Okay, so again, under Section 18, no involuntary servitude is in any form shall exist except as punishment for a crime whereof for the party shall be convicted. So again, hindi ka pwedeng pilitin class to join the military if that is against your will or hindi mo yan gusto. But pagdating sa in times of war or in the existence of war between another country, when the Philippines is at war with another country, so ang voluntary servitude or involuntary servitude class, mawawala yan. You have to defend your country, dead or alive, kahit mag-isa ka na lang ang natitira. Okay? So, nakuha ba? So, yun. So, dapat clear na clear yan sa inyo. Next tayo. How about pakibasa muna? Nandito si si Ray o Raymond, no? Okay? Available ka ba to read? Hindi ko kasi naririnig yung mga boses ng iba eh. How about si Sergeant Bayo? Sergeant Bayo ba? Okay. Sino pa class yung available dyan to read? Ay, nasa duty siguro si Sir. Wag muna ngayon. Okay lang, Sir. Okay. Sige, nasa duty ka ba, Sir? Okay, so ingat-ingat dyan. Sige, si Sir Johnny muna. Sir Johnny, pakipasa ng question natin.
Good evening, sir.
Evening.
PI, the right to appeal from judgment pursuant to the rule of court and the right to succession under the civil law is under what classification of rights? A. Inherent or natural rights. B. Constitutional rights. C. Statutory rights. And D. Political rights.
Okay. So yung the right to preliminary investigation and the right to appeal from judgment pursuant to the rules of court and the right to succession under the civil law is under what classification of rights? Letter A, inherent or natural rights. Letter B, constitutional rights. Letter C, statutory rights. And letter D, political rights. Okay, what is your answer, class? On the comment section. Okay, so ayan. So ang sagot natin yan, class, hindi yan natin tatawagin ngayon as constitutional right kasi minsan nagkakamali yung iba dito, no? Of course, kayo hindi, nagkakamali. Okay, tama yung mga sagot nyo. Ang sagot natin dyan, class, is statutory rights. Okay, again, yung the right to appeal, okay, the right to preliminary investigation, from, to appeal yung tinatawag natin na judgment, yung the right to succession naman, kung sino yung next na magmamana, okay, under the civil law, ang tawag natin doon, class, are statutory rights, okay? Ang tawag natin doon are statutory rights kasi again, it is granted by special law. Again, ang sagot natin doon are statutory rights. Yung the right to appeal, the right to PI, and others, tinatawag natin yan, statutory rights. Kailan naman natin tatawagin yan as constitutional rights? Of course, kapag it is granted by the Constitution, okay, it is granted by the Constitution, particularly class, okay, the agad coach, right, to inherit. Okay, yes, tama yan. Okay, so again, ulitin natin, pag sinabi natin statutory rights, guys, yung mga PI, the right to appeal, that is the statutory rights, it is granted by a special law. Okay, special law yan, class. Ibig sabihin, binigay yan. Or it is granted by the statute. Ibig sabihin, ang nagbigay niyan, i-formulate yan ng mga Congress natin, yung Senate and House of Representatives, tapos na-approve into law, ating President. So, yan yung tinatawag natin na statutory rights. Kasama doon yung PI, the right to appeal. Ang constitutional rights naman, class, saan natin particularly makikita to si constitutional rights? Saan natin makikita yan? Under? Anong article ng Constitution natin? Okay, upo, tama yan, Sir Victor. So, pag sinabi natin constitutional rights, yung tinatawag natin na Bill of Rights. Okay, yun yung makikita natin sa Bill of Rights of the 1987 Constitution natin. Article 3, Bill of Rights. So, pag sinabi natin Bill of Rights, those are the set of rights of individual given or granted by the Constitution, particularly the 1987 Constitution. So, then of course, we have the inherent or natural rights. Of course, yan, yung inherent or natural rights natin, the right to life. So, then political rights, that is the right to vote and be voted for in the public office, tinatawag natin yan na political rights. So, mamaya i-explain pa natin further yung mga different rights na to. Okay? So, nabigay ko na kayo ng idea about these rights na meron tayo. Kaya ang sagot natin dyan, statutory rights, it is granted by what they call the rules of court or particularly yung law natin is special law. Okay, ito naman. Okay, so God-given rights. Okay, very good, sir. Okay, so natural rights, God-given rights. Ibig sabihin, nung pinanganak ka na dito sa mundong ibabaw, nandun na yan. Okay, hindi yan binigay ni special law, hindi yan binigay ng Constitution, binigay yan sa iyo as a human being. Okay, pakibasa nga si Dexter Dodds. Okay, okay na ba? Si
Hello,
Kilon.
sir. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Good evening.
Ay, good evening, sir. Good evening. Pwede ka ba, sir,
Yes, sir.
magbasa?
A process. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A process to compel the attendance a person in court so that he may give testimony therein. A. Natural rights. B. Sub Quena Jus Tecum. C. Sub Quena and testificandum. D. Statutory rights.
Okay, thank you. So again, it is a process to compel the attendance of a person in court so that he may give testimony therein. Ibig sabihin, ang kinakailangan na dito, class, yung attendance ng tao na yon so that he can give his testimony. Ibig sabihin, yung oral. Okay, so is that natural rights? Letter B, sub quena juris tecum. Letter C, sub quena ad testificandum. Or letter D, statutory rights. Okay, what is that, class? What is that? Anong sagot natin? Yes, okay lang yan, sir. Nasa keyword. Tama yan, yung si Sir Victor. Okay, so of course, class, tama. So hindi natin, tatanggalin natin first yan, class. We will apply the process of elimination Ang first natin na tatanggalin is statutory rights kasi hindi naman siya nagtatanong sa rights, tama? Ang next natin na tatanggalin is the natural rights kasi again, hindi naman siya nagtatanong kung what particular rights. Okay, ang tinatanong niya dito is yung tinatawag natin na subpoena. So, pag sinabi natin subclass, ibig sabihin natin is under. Ang pwede naman is penalty. So, pag may subpoena ka, ibig sabihin you are under penalty. Dalawa yan. We have subpoena justisticum and subpoena ad testificandum. When the court compels the attendance of a person in court so that he may give testimony therein, that is subpoena ad testificandum. Ibig sabihin, ang kailangan lang is your presence or your attendance kasi nga, kukunin lang naman ang testimony mo or you have to testify in court. So, meaning, ang sagot natin dyan, subpoena ad testificandum. Ibig sabihin, you need or your attendance in court is in need so that you will give your testimony therein. So, ang sagot natin dyan, subpoena ad testificandum. Ang subpoena justisticum naman class, tandaan nyo lang palagi yung term na justice, ibig sabihin documents. Ibig sabihin class, pinipermit ngayon, ibig sabihin inaanyahan ka ngayon ng korte na to appear in court, not just to appear in court, bring with you any documents or any evidence stipulated therein or nakalagay doon kung ano yung dadalhin mo, then bring it before the court. So again, ulitin natin, ang subpoena justisticum, ibig sabihin ng class, kung ano man yung nire-request ng korte na evidence or documents na dalhin mo, kasi from the word itself, justice, sabihin documents, bring with you or bring it with you in court, okay, para gagamitin yon sa testimony. So that is subpoena justisticum. Nakuha ba? Nakuha class? So ang sagot natin dyan sa
Yes.
letter C, subpoena ad testificandum. Ibig sabihin, kinakailangan lang ng attendance in court kasi nga para mag-testify. Okay, so okay, sige. Again, ulitin natin. Pag sinabi natin sa subpoena justisticum, ibig sabihin, bring with you any documents or evidence na sinasabi ng korte. While ang subpoena at testificandum, ibig sabihin nun, come to court and testify. Wala ka nang dapat dalhin. Okay? Ang kailangan nun doon is your attendance or your presence or your testimony. Okay. So again, ang subpoena justisticum class, it is a writ or it is an order by which a person is required to produce the documents and evidence. Ibig sabihin, dalhin mo yung documents na kinakailangan to prove a certain facts in issue in a court. So, palaging tandaan yung uses. Ang subpoena ad testificandum naman, it is a process to compel the attendance, again, attendance lang ang kailangan namin dyan, or your presence in a court so that he will give testimony therein. He can able to testify on a particular matter. Okay, nakuha? Okay, pakibasa muna, Sir, sino yung iba dito? Sir Mike. Sir Mike, are you available to read? Ay, di ba? Ay, sorry. Okay, Sir William. Sir William. Bakit may mga shout?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Sir William, pakibasa. Thank you.
This is a right where everybody shall avail the federal law of due process. A. Inherent or natural rights. B. Constitutional rights. C. Statutory rights. And D. Political rights, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, ang question natin dito, this is a right where everybody shall avail the procedural law of due process. Letter A, inherent or natural. Letter B, constitutional. Letter C, statutory. And letter D, political rights. Okay, what is your answer? Okay, so let's answer. Motion. Okay, after next subject natin is PCGS muna. After that, PCGS is pupunta tayo sa Bukto na, yung pinakalas sa area natin sa criminal law. Okay, so pakinig ba yung sagot ninyo? May letter B, may letter C. So this is a right where everybody shall avail the procedural law of due process. Okay, so ang sagot natin sa class, that is still a statutory rights. Okay? Sagot natin sa class, that is statutory rights. So i-explain natin kung saan kinuha ang tanong na to. Okay, dito tayo. So we have the different classification of rights class. Una dyan, we have the inherent or natural rights. Okay, so again, ang inherent or natural rights, that is the rights enjoyed by a person as a human being. Halimbawa, the right to live. Okay, so the right to love, the right to marry, and the right to buy and own property. That is an inherent or natural rights. Ibig sabihin, hindi yan binigay ng Constitution, hindi rin yan binigay ng special law natin. So it is your rights enjoyed as a human being, the right to live, okay? The right to breathe, diba? Love, and to marry, and the right to buy and own property. These rights enjoyed by a person simply because he is a human being. Then, pag sinabi naman natin constitutional rights, these rights are enshrined or makikita natin yan in Article pagkuha ng driver's license coach. Anong rights yan? Of course, class, hindi naman yan siya matatawag na inherent or natural rights. Of course, it is granted by our special law. So that's why it is a statutory rights kapag ganon yung pagkuha natin. So, hindi naman yan siya matatawag na inherent or natural rights. So far, hindi pa naman tinatanong yan. So, ang mga constitutional rights naman natin, these rights are enshrined in Article 3 of the 1987 Constitution, yung tinatawag natin class na Bill of Rights. So, yun yung mga Bill of Rights natin na matatawag natin. Of course, the rights against unreasonable searches. Dahil ba, bigla-bigla ka na nang i-search na wala namang search warrant. Okay, that is against unconstitutional right. Searches and seizure, the right against ex post facto law. Halimbawa, tinaasan yung penalty na binigay sa iyo originally na ang na-impose na penalty sa iyo sa crime na na-commit mo is temporal lang. That was a temporal. Tapos tinaasan perpetua, that is not allowed. Okay, kasi nga, that is in violations against ex post facto law or Bill of Attainder. So, yan. And then, of course, ang Bill of Attainder, hindi rin pwedeng magbigay yan. So, again, as a review, kung sinabi natin Bill of Attainder, that is a legislative act that inflicts punishment without due process of law. Hindi yan pwede kasi under the law or under our Constitution, the Constitution provides that there is no ex post facto law or Bill of Attainder. Basically, there must be a due process na kinakailangan. Ibig sabihin, there must be or there is a trial and hearing na dapat natin gawin or there is a trial and hearing should took place class para maging valid yon. Kasi sa Pilipinas, we do not adhere to the ex post facto and Bill of Attainder. Sa atin, dapat may masusunod na tinatawag natin class na rights or magkakaroon ng due process. Okay, ibig sabihin, karapatan na ma-hear or yung sides of the story. Okay, so para before natin masabi that you are really guilty beyond reasonable doubt of a particular crime. Okay, the rights accused set forth in the Bill of Rights under Article 3 of the 1987 Constitution. So these are classification of rights. Then, of course, we have the statutory rights class. Ang statutory rights, this is the right where everybody shall avail the procedural law of due process. Of course, una dyan, the right to preliminary investigation, then the right to appeal from judgment pursuant or in relation to the rules of court, and the right to succession under the civil law. So ang tawag natin doon, class, are statutory right. It is crafted by the Congress. Sila ang nagbigay ng rights na yan, class. Then basically, sila rin ang may karapatan or may kapangyarihan to repeal that rights. Ibig sabihin, walain niya ang rights na yan. Kasi nga, sila lang ang may karapatan doon. They can create laws. Then basically, they have the power to repeal or to makuwalang bisa ang batas na yan or pwedeng palitan. So ang tawag natin doon are statutory rights. Yung everybody shall avail the procedural law of due process. Ibig sabihin, dapat everyone should be treated or there must be a trial and hearing first to be conducted before sa natin matawag na there is a due process. Ibig sabihin, buhay pa rin ang justice system ng bansa natin. So again, ang tawag natin doon are statutory rights. Okay, nakuha ba? Nasundan ninyo? Nandiyan pa ba kayo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yan. Okay, so sa ganitong oras, pumafunction ang utak ko talaga eh. Kaya nung nag-review ako dati class, magsa-start ako mag-review dati mga 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. hanggang 12 or hanggang 11, hanggang 10. Kasi doon, totally pumafunction utak ko para 101%. Joke lang. 101% yung ano niya, yung neurons. Pero kapag morning, hindi talaga ako nakaka-concentrate yung 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Kaya palagi yung sinasabi sa inyo na hanapin ninyo yung ito, yung body clock or yung body ano ninyo. Okay, yung body clock ninyo or kasi iba-iba naman. Huwag yung pilitin na mag-study sa morning kung hindi nyo kaya. Huwag yung pilitin sa gabi. Okay, kung hindi rin nyo rin kaya. So, hanapin nyo rin. Okay. But of course, pag marapit na yung board exam, try to naisanayin yung sarili niyo na sa morning na magbabasa. Okay, pero sa akin dati, night time talaga. Kasi hindi siya papasok kapag kapag morning. Kapag evening class. Yes, marirecall kapag evening class. Doon paano? Kasi according to study class, kapag sa gabi, that is intended for research, that is intended for listening. Sa morning naman, that is intended for reading. Okay, tama yon. Based on research yun, yung nakita rin natin. Sa morning daw, magbabasa ka. Sa gabi, recalling, magre-research ka. Kaya maganda lang na sa gabi tayo. Kasi parang lahat, no, bumabalik yung mga inaaral natin. So then we have the political rights. Ang political rights naman class, that is the right of the people to vote and be voted for in any public position. So anong tawag natin doon class? Kapag karapatan mo na iboto or ilagay sa any public position, that is the right to what? Yung ginagawa natin during election. Anong tawag natin doon? The right to
Both.
Okay, let's start sa letter S, yung pinaka-proper term. Kasi proper term ang kailangan natin eh. So, for example, okay, that is the right to?
Suffrage.
Okay, so that is the right to suffrage. Okay, very good. Okay, that is basically the right to suffrage. Okay, so that is the right to suffrage. Good. Okay, pag sinabi natin the right to suffrage, of course, the right to suffrage and the right to be elected to public office. Okay, so that is political rights. Tandaan nyo class, as long as kahit may case ka, kapag wala pa namang final verdict or final judgment, then pwede ka namang tumakbo sa posisyon, di ba? Kapag nanalo ka, in case na natalo ka rin sa kaso mo, of course, hindi ka pwede makaupo kasi nga you are already convicted. Kapag hindi ka pa convicted class, you can run or you can run to any public office. Okay, nakuha nyo? So, tandaan nyo pwede kang tumakbo sa public office as long as hindi ka pa naman convicted. Okay, so ano pa naman. Pero kapag in case na you are pronounced guilty na tapos nanalo ka doon sa election, natalo ka sa kaso mo, then hindi ka pwedeng umupo. Okay nyo? So, yan. So, marami nangyari ng gano'n. Okay, so again, yun yung tinatawag natin na different classification of rights class. So, tandaan nyo class, posible talaga na itatanong lang sa human rights na subject yung classification of rights. We have the inherent or natural rights. It is given or it is enjoyed or it is inherited or it is inherent sa atin lahat kasi simply because we are human being. Tama? Okay, so we are human being. So that's why tinatawag natin anong rights kung di mahal mo, di ko mahal. Di ko alam yan. Ano yan? Kasi of course that is your right to love. Papasok yan sa Robin sa ano, inherent or natural rights. Okay? Inherent or natural rights yan. Okay? Kaya problema mo na yun kung ayaw niya ayaw niyang ibalik. Okay, so in case na tanong, ang isagot natin dyan, that is the right to pwede, paano pag may warrant of arrest, sir, pwede pa rin po ba magtumakbo? Yes, pwede pa rin. Okay, pwede pa rin tumakbo as long as wala pa namang final judgment. Okay. So, okay, so yan. The right to remain silent. Okay. Okay, so dito naman tayo, class. Ito very important to. Pag makibasa nga, si Tons. Sino si Tons? Pakibasa, Tons. Hindi ko kasi naririnig yung boses ng iba eh. Gusto ko marinig.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Babae mo si Tons?
Yes po.
Ay, nakakala ko lang. Sige, pakibasa.
It is defined as the taking of private property upon payment of just compensation. A, just compensation. B, eminent domain. C, expropriation. D, negotiation.
Okay, so what is your answer, class? It is defined as the taking of private property upon payment of just compensation. Okay, so lahat sumagot. Then, kapag nakasagot na ng yung 15 or 20 students, then I will explain. Okay, so ayan, meron na. So, B. Okay, iba-iba yung sagot niyo. May letter B, may letter C. Ano ba? Ang tanong niya, class, we have the both B and C parang same lang. Hindi po yan sila same. Nakadepende kasi yan sa pag-atake or nakadepende yan sa pagsagot ninyo. Okay? So, sinabi dito, it is defined as the taking of private property upon payment of just compensation. Ibig sabihin, class, hindi basta-basta kunin ng gobyerno ang private property kapag hindi pa yan nababayaran. So, ang sagot niyo may letter B, may letter C. May letter B and letter C. Ang first natin dyan na natatanggalin, class, is the eminent domain. Okay. So, bakit tinanggal ko una, class, si eminent domain? Okay, again. Bakit tinanggal ko ang eminent domain ang una? Sige, sino makapagsabi dyan? Ano ba? This is actual board exam. Sa actual board exam, class, kailangan mo sagutin kung ano lang yung tinatanong niya. So, bakit tinanggal ko agad-agad si eminent domain? Yes, Robert?
Kung di ako nagkakamala, sir, yung eminent domain, sir, sa ano ata yan, sir, yung sa lupa.
Sa lupa?
Tama ba, sir?
Hindi. Hindi yun. Okay, sige. How about others? For public use? Okay? Hindi. So, bakit tinanggal ko si eminent domain? Kasi di ba sabi niyo eminent domain. Okay. So ano yan, guys? Bakit tinanggal ko si eminent domain? Tapos, ibig sabihin, hindi na siya ang sagot. So sige, class. Sino yung may idea? Bakit tinanggal ko ngayon si eminent domain? Okay, sige nga. Aside sa sinabi ni Robin na sa lupa. Okay, sige. Robin, may another idea ka? Bakit tinanggal ko si eminent domain?
Ang nagtitake ng ano, sir, ng ano dito, sir, yung government for public use, tama ba, sir?
For public use? Hindi rin. Okay. Yeah. Eminent domain. Okay, so ayan. Of course, class, palagi yung sinasabi sa inyo, kapag sumasagot kayo, dapat tingnan ninyo, class, kung ano yung tinatanong niya. Kasi lahat naman sila posibleng isagot, tama? Okay? Tinanong niya ba dyan na it is the power of the government to take private property upon payment of just compensation? Di ba hindi? Okay, that's why tanggalin natin si eminent domain. Kasi si eminent domain, that is one of the power of the government. Nakuha ba? Okay? So, ang sagot na natin dyan, class, is letter C. Ang sagot natin dyan, that is expropriation. It is defined as the taking of private property upon payment of just compensation. So, again, ulitin natin, tatlo ang ating tinatawag natin na powers of the government. Una, the police power. Pangalawa is power of the eminent domain. And pangatlo is power of taxation. Tama? So, ang power of eminent domain, hindi mo pwedeng isagot yan kasi hindi niya naman tinanong. It is, kapag ganito ang questioning niya, class, it is the power of the government to take private property upon payment of just compensation. What is your answer? That's the time you will answer eminent domain. Nakuha niyo ba ang point? Pero ang tanong niya lang dito, it is defined as the taking of private property upon payment of just compensation. That's why ang sagot lang natin, class, is expropriation. Nakita ninyo? Nakita ba? Nakuha ba, class? Nakuha?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so ganun kasimple Ganun kasimple ang tanong pero nagkakamali kayo dyan. Kasi again, hindi kayo very, hindi kayo nakatingin doon kung ano yung tinatanong niya. So kung simple naman sila lahat, isagot. Diba? So of course, tatanggalin na natin si negotiation. So bakit expropriation ang tawag natin dito? It is defined as the taking of private property upon a payment of just compensation. Hindi rin natin pwede agad-agad or hindi rin pwede agad-agad kunin ng government ang property na yon kapag hindi pa binabayaran based on the market value ng property na yan. So that's why ang sagot natin dyan, expropriation. Okay? So again, walang violent reaction dyan. So again, sa palagi sinasabi, answer the question right away. Kung anong tanong niya, yun ang sagutin ninyo. Kapag hindi niya naman binanggit dyan, it is the power. So hindi kayo magsasagot ng power of the government. Okay, next. Okay, dito naman, pakibasa. Okay. Si Bill, sino itong si Bill? Gusto ko marinig yung boses ni Bill. V-I-L-L? V-I-L-L. Bill. Wala si Bill. How about si Xiaomi? Sino ito si Xiaomi? 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 Oh, nandito pala si Sir Marlon Bernat. Sir Marlon, kamusta ka dyan?
Ayos lang po, sir.
Okay, sige. Pwede mo basahin ang question natin? Taga-HTC ka, no? Tama
Yes
ba?
po, sir. Opo.
Sige. Okay, basa.
It is defined as the full and fair equivalent of the property taken. It is the fair market value of property. A. Just compensation. A. IB. Eminent domain. C. Expropriation, and D. Negotiation.
Thank you. So it is defined as the full and fair equivalent of the property taken. It is the fair market value of the property. Ibig sabihin, kung ano yung market value, ano ba, 20 million, yun na rin yung ibabayad ng government sa'yo. Hindi mo yan pwedeng tasan kasi of course malalaman na niya ang market value, di ba? So ano ngayon ang tawag natin dyan? Okay, so it is defined as the full and fair equivalent delta yan. Okay, so ayan. Ano na sabi niya na? Just don't be sage. Sige, tingnan natin kung mamaya si Mark. Okay, so ang sagot natin dyan, that is what we call, okay, that is just compensation. Letter A. Very good. So, si Mark, Delta. Bakit maraming sumagot ng Delta? Bakit kasali si negotiation dito? Ang sagot natin doon, class, is just compensation. Okay? So, just compensation ang tawag natin doon, class. Ang just compensation, bago mo makuha yung private property or bago makuha ng government or ng state ang private property class, dapat niya yan bayaran. So, saan mag-base ang bayad niya? Kung magkano ang market value ng property na yan, doon rin i-base ang bayad. Okay? So, hindi rin pwedeng tawaran na. Kung 20 million ang bili niyan or ang benta niyan or yung market value niyan, that is, yun na rin yung ibabayad. So, that is just compensation class. Again, hindi rin basta-basta kukunin ang mga property na yon or ng private property na yon kapag kinakailangan ng government class. Kasi tandaan nyo class, kapag kahit yung lupa ninyo na kinakatayo ng bahay ninyo or pag may-ari ng lupa ninyo, kasi kahit nasa inyo pa yung title na yan or land title na yan, ang mangyayari dyan, ano yan, anytime pwedeng kunin yan ng government. Lalong-lalo na kapag kinakailangan nila yan. Halimbawa, kailangan nila patuyuan ng hospital, kailangan nila ng patuyuan ng additional schools or halimbawa public libraries and so on. So, pwedeng kunin yan ng government kasi again, si government pa rin ang may-ari niyan. So, kapag ganun, hindi rin niya na basta-basta kukunin yan kapag walang bayad. Babayaran din yan ng government class. Ang tawag natin doon is just compensation. It is the fair equivalent of the property taken. So, it is the fair market value of the property. So, ang tawag natin doon is the just compensation. Letter A. Okay? Nakuha ba? So, that is letter A, just compensation. Nakuha ninyo class? Okay, so yan, just compensation. Okay, dito tayo class, the rights to property. Pag sinabi natin rights to property, dito tayo mag-end mamaya. Okay, sa rights to property. Nakuha ba ninyo? Okay, so the rights of property under Section 9, the private property shall not be taken for public use without just compensation. Again, ibig sabihin, hindi naman talaga agad-agad kukunin lang ang private property na yan kapag nagagamitin for public use. Magpapatayo ng hospital, magpapatayo ng mga streets or mga daan, magpapatayo ng tinatawag natin na schools. Basically for public use. Tayo rin kasi ang makikinabang niyan. Hindi rin basta-basta yan kukunin kapag hindi binabayaran, okay, ng government ang may-ari ng private property na yon. Okay? Kasi nga, that is under the Constitution. Exemption is the expropriation of property. So, ang expropriation, of course, it is defined as the taking of private property upon payment of just compensation. Pwede lang makuha ng government or ng state ang private property unless binayaran nila yan based on the market value of the property. Kung magkano yan on the market. So kapag 20 million, 25 million, or 50 million, 50 million din ang ibabayad niya. So that is expropriation. Ibig sabihin, that is the rights of property. Kaya class, kapag halimbawa yung bahay niyo malapit sa daan, or may plano kayo magpatayo ng mga bahay ninyo or sa family ninyo, i-advise niyo yung mga parents niyo kasi hindi nila rin yan alam. Dapat medyo malayo konti, 10 meters or 20 or 15. Basta doon dapat ilayo nyo sa street kasi lalong-lalo na kapag magkakaroon ng road widening or ipapaano yung street or yung daan medyo nila. So kaya kailangan ina-advise talaga na dapat medyo malayo class. Lalo-lalo na sa mga aksidente kasi darating ang panahon na magkakaroon ng road widening 4 lanes na. Di ba ngayon 2 lanes pa lang. Darating panahon class na 4 lanes para hindi sayang ang pinundar ninyo. Kasi whether you like it or not, kailangan yung tibagin. Kasi nga, kukunin na yan ng government papatayuan ng mga highways or papatayuan ng streets or mga So that's why, i-advise nyo rin yung parents niyo kapag hindi nila alam. Tapos basta-basta na lang kayo magpapatayo sa gilid ng daan or sa gilid ng street or highways. It is not advisable. Dapat 15 to 20 meters or much better na malayo pa. So para of course guys na safe or hindi sayang ang pinundar ng parents or hindi sayang lahat ng efforts nila. Nakuha ba? Nakuha ninyo? Okay. So,
Yes, coach.
nandyan pa ba kayo? Akala ko na natulog na kayo. Okay, sige. So, yan. So, next tayo. Okay, so meron tayong tinatawag na just compensation class. Ang just compensation, sinabi ko kanina, pero marami nagkamali pa rin nung tinanong ko. Ang just compensation, it is defined as the the full and fair equivalent of the property taken. So it is the fair market value of that property. Ibig sabihin, kung magkano yan, yun yung ibabayad ng government sa iyo at hindi rin sila or wala silang karapatan na kunin yun basta-basta na walang bayad or proper amount. So kaya tinawag ko kanina, the taking of private property for public use is the exercise of the state's power of eminent domain. So yeah, that's why huwag kayong sumagot ng power of eminent domain kapag hindi niya naman tinatawag. Okay? Or hindi niya naman binanggit sa question. Pag sinabi natin eminent domain, it is defined as the power, okay? It is the power of the state to include the taking of property for public use upon payment of just compensation. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, diyan niya yung tinatawag natin class na karapatan or that is the power of the state na kunin yung private property class kasi nga of course gagamitin na rin yan class for public use. Okay? So hindi rin yan basta-basta kunin ng government kasi may ano sila kasi gusto rin nila. Kukunin nila yan kasi nga kinakailangan rin ng kunin. Kasi magpapatayo ng hospital, dumadami ang mga tao, dumadami rin ang kailangan ng services ng government. Simply because para maibigay rin ng government ang services na para sa kanilang mga constituents, para sa atin. Kaya yan yung tinatawag natin na eminent domain. So, anytime, huwag kayong ma-surprise bakit bigla na lang kinuha ng government nandun naman sa amin nandun naman sa amin title ng lupa na yan. So, again class, that is nakalagay nga sa eminent domain natin. So, ibig sabihin, that is the power of the state to into the taking of private property for public use upon payment of just compensation. So again, kung anong tinatanong sa board exam, pag sinabi niya power of the government to take private property, that is power of the eminent domain. Pag sinabi natin, it is the full and fair equivalent of the property taken or that is the market value of the property, that is just compensation. Pag sinabi niya naman, kapag the taking of private property, it is defined as the taking of private property with just compensation, that is expropriation. Naintindihan niyo? Naintindihan niya ba?
Yes, coach.
Okay, so yan. Okay, dito tayo. So last question tayo class before tayo matulog. So sino ngayon or who may take or who may exercise the power of eminent domain? Okay, so again, sino ngayon ang mag-exercise class ng or may karapatan to exercise the power of eminent domain? Sige. So for the last question class, dapat makita ko lahat yung 36 na present today. Dapat nandun kayo lahat magsagot para ano naman. $24. Okay, so yung iba, how about others? Okay, so ayan, 26, 27. Yung iba, natulog na ba yung iba? O baka yung iba natulog na tapos o di ba, tayo, no? Yeah. $32. Oh, gising na gising pa yung 32 pala. Okay, so again, so who may take or who may exercise the power of eminent domain? So ang sagot natin dyan, that is letter A, the Congress. So saan ba natin kinuha class yung tinatawag natin na may kapangyarihan or the power to eminent domain or to exercise the power of eminent domain? Of course, that is the Congress is the branch of the government that exercises the power of eminent domain. But of course, in times na the absence, It can be delegated also to the president, to the administrative bodies, the local government units or the LGU, or the local government executives natin, and even the private enterprises performing public functions or public services. Again, sino po yung may karapatan or kung may exercise the power of eminent domain, it lies or it's up to the Congress, which is sila yon under the Constitution natin, guys, na may karapatan to exercise the power of eminent domain. But of course, in instance, it can be delegated also to the president, administrative bodies, local government units, and even the private enterprises performing any public functions or any public services. So that's why ang sagot natin doon is the Congress. Okay? Nakuha ba? Nakuha ninyo, class? So, yan.
Yes.
Okay. So, yan. Meron tayong fruitful discussion tonight. Bukas, we will continue our discussion class sa ano natin. So, marami tayong maintindihan yung bukas. So, marami tayong mga case analysis dyan. Para ine-train ko kayo on how to answer yung mga criminology or yung medyo mind-blowing question, di ba? Pagdating sa board exam, kailangan kasi is logical, mag-isip, or ibig sabihin, kailangan mo ng critical thinking, di ba? So, ang question is very basic. Kailangan nila ng basic answer. Ikaw naman, nag-overthink or marami kang naiisip or marami kang possible answer. So, yun yung iti-train ko sa inyong class as much as possible. Yung mga students ko talaga for how many seasons already, ang nakuha talaga nila before ng board exam is yung na-master na nila on how to answer. Diba? Sa pagsagot talaga ang kanilang armas o yung technique na nakukuha nila sa akin at makukuha nyo rin pagdating ng board exam. Okay, good. Kasi very important rin yan. Okay. So bukas, nightlight, ano tayo? Yes. So si Pico, 6% na lang daw si Martin eh. Yes, analyzation of question is very important. Kahit saksak nyo lahat ng mga libro sa utak ninyo. Okay, so kahit isaksak nyo ang lahat ng sa utak ninyo klaseng libro, siya nagbasa niya ng 8 hours, ikaw 1 hour. Pero ikaw, may technique ka on how to answer. Pagdating sa board exam class, ikaw yung papasa at magtatap. Siya alam niya lang magpasa, pero pagdating sa board exam, may times kasi class na yung tinuro sa inyo, hindi lalabas yan. Okay? Hindi lalabas. Pagdating sa board exam, ang ano daw ng armas mo is yung strategy. Paano ba ito sagutin? Kung wala kang strategy, wala kang masugot doon. Kasi, kaya nga board exam, unpredictable ang lalabas. Kaya nga, dapat mapaghandaan. Ang ibibigay sa inyo for long-term memory. Kailangan nyo ng technique or kailangan nyo ngayon class yung technique talaga, di ba? On how to answer, on how to understand the topic. Okay, so yan yung tinatawag natin class na